My name is Margaret. I am 79 years old. I live alone in a big house near a quiet lake. My house is beautiful, but it is also very silent. My husband passed away many years ago. We did not have children. I have money. I have old photos. I have many memories, but I do not have a warm voice in my home. Most mornings are the same. I wake up. I make tea. I sit by the window. I watch the lake. I watch the trees move slowly in the wind. Sometimes I talk to myself. Sometimes I do not speak at all. And in my heart I feel one word: lonely. One cold morning, my doctor called me. He said, "Margaret, you need help." He said my legs were weak. He said I should not be alone all day. I did not like the idea. I was proud. I was used to doing everything by myself, but deep inside, I knew he was right. That afternoon, someone knocked on my door. I opened it slowly. A young man stood there. He had a simple jacket and a small bag. He smiled and said, "Hello, ma'am. My name is Ethan. I am here to help you." Ethan was 27 years old. He looked calm. His eyes were kind. His voice was soft. Many people look at old people and feel bored. But Ethan looked at me like I was a real person. And in that moment, my silent house felt a little less cold. Ethan started coming every day. He helped me with my medicine. He helped me walk safely. He cleaned the kitchen and made sure the house was tidy. But he did something more. He talked to me. He asked, "Margaret, what was your first job?" He asked, "What was your favorite place to visit?" He asked, "What made you happy when you were young?" At first, I gave short answers. But Ethan listened so carefully. So I started to speak more. I told him about my life as a school librarian. I told him about old books I loved. I told him about the first time I saw the ocean. And Ethan would smile and say, "Wow. That sounds amazing." For the first time in many years, someone was truly listening to me. Every evening, we drank warm tea. I sat in my chair. Ethan sat across from me. The tea was warm, but the company was warmer. My house was still quiet, but it was not empty anymore. After a few weeks, I noticed something. Ethan always tried to look strong, but sometimes, when he thought I was not watching, his face looked heavy. One evening, rain hit the windows. The lake outside looked dark. Ethan held his cup with both hands. His eyes were far away. I asked him softly, "Ethan, are you okay?" He stayed quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I miss my family." He told me his mother lived far away. He told me his younger brother wanted to go to college. But money was hard. Ethan said, "I work here because I want to help them. Every month I send money home." His voice shook a little. He looked down and said, "Sometimes I feel alone too." When he said that, my heart tightened. Because I understood that feeling, I reached out slowly, and I touched his hand. I said, "You are not alone in this house." Ethan looked up. His eyes were wet. And he whispered, "Thank you, Margaret." In that moment, our bond changed. He was not only my caregiver, he was my friend. With Ethan around, I felt different. I started wearing brighter clothes. I used my favorite perfume again. I stood a little taller. I even smiled more. And people noticed. At the grocery store, I heard whispers. "Why is she always with that young man?" "That is strange. Is he after her money?" Some people judged me with their eyes. Even a few distant relatives called me. They said, "Margaret, be careful." They said, "He is young, you are old." They said, "This looks bad." Their words made me angry. Not because I felt shame, but because they did not understand. This was not a romantic story. This was a human story, a story about kindness, a story about care, a story about two lonely people helping each other. But gossip is loud, and my quiet life started to feel noisy. One morning, Ethan came in very quietly. He did not smile. He said, "Margaret, people are talking." I said, "I know." He said, "I do not want to hurt your name. I do not want to bring you stress." Then he looked at the floor and said, "Maybe I should leave." When I heard that, my chest felt empty again. The old silence returned in my mind, even before he left. I said firmly, "No, Ethan." He looked surprised. I continued, "Let them talk. They do not live my life. They do not sit in this silent house." I took a slow breath. "I need help, yes, but I also need a friend. And you are a good man." Ethan's eyes softened. He nodded slowly, and he said, "Okay, I will stay." Then winter came. The air turned sharp. The lake looked gray, and my health became weaker. Some days I felt very tired. Some nights I could not sleep. Doctors visited more often. Ethan stayed close. He made soup. He read to me from simple books. He spoke in a calm voice. When pain came, he held my hand. Sometimes we did not talk at all. We just sat together in the quiet. And that quiet felt safe. One evening, I felt something in my heart. A deep feeling. I knew my time was getting shorter. I asked Ethan to sit beside me. He sat down quickly. His eyes were red. He said, "Please don't talk like that." I smiled gently. I said, "Ethan, listen." I reached into my bedside drawer. I pulled out an envelope. I said, "This is a letter for you, not for today, for later." Ethan held the envelope carefully. I continued, "You came when my house was silent. You brought light. You brought hope." My voice was soft. "You reminded me I am still a person, not just an old body." Tears rolled down Ethan's face. He said, "You changed my life too." I squeezed his hand. I whispered, "Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for making me feel alive again." A few weeks later, I passed away peacefully. My house became quiet again, but my story did not end there. After the funeral, my lawyer read my plan. My relatives came, ready to fight. They expected money, but my lawyer spoke clearly. He said, "Margaret left most of her money to a community project." He explained my wish to turn my house into a small reading and learning center for kids and English learners, a calm place, a warm place, a place full of stories. Then the lawyer looked at Ethan. He said, "And Ethan will manage this center for 1 year. He will also receive a fair salary." People were shocked. Some looked angry, but Ethan did not argue. He just sat quietly. Later, Ethan went to the lake. He held my letter in his hands. He opened it. Inside I wrote, "Ethan, you gave me comfort. Now go and give comfort to others. Use stories to help people feel less alone." Ethan smiled through tears. He kept his promise. He helped open the center. Kids came in after school. Adults came to practice English. People read books, drank tea, and felt welcome. And Ethan still sent money to his family. But now, He also had a future with purpose. Some people in town still talked, but it did not matter. Because kindness is louder than gossip when it becomes real action.